Okay, I'm ready to go.
Cool. Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias, Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie Webbin.
And today we will be playing part 1.5 to 2-ish of Chapter 4 of Legend of Dragoon. We played a little bit of Chapter 4 last time, but and we'll be stopping at the point of no return. My entire notes are completely wrong, but that's why I'm flying by the seat of my pants right now. But
we're playing part 1, part 2, intermission 1, part 1.
Yeah. But before we get to all of that and countless more Homestuck references, how was everybody's week?
It was great because there was a new Steven Universe, and it was amazing.
I've heard everyone losing their butts about it, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, like, obviously there's always going to be those haters who are like, this is bad. And I will say, you know, it's not perfect. No episode of Steven Universe is perfect, but if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. So,
exactly.
You know, the pacing is still a little off, but that's just how the show has always been.
Right.
It's a kid's show. And I'm not going to overanalyze the kids' show because it is a fantastic kids' show. It's one of the best kids' shows that I think has ever been made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's unfair the levels of criticism that people give it.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like, have you seen other shows? Come on, they're stupid.
Yeah.
I gotta say, from what I've seen, I have not caught up with it. But from what I've seen of the release schedule, it's basically like. Not to refer Tones again, but it's like a Homestuck release schedule, right? Like, you just wait, like, a fucking year, and then two really amazing episodes come out, and then you just, like, wait 6 more months, and then there's, like, 2 more episodes.
Yeah, and that's the fault of Cartoon...
Nazi style.
Yeah, that's the fault of Cartoon Network. They're actually way ahead in their production on the Steven Universe team.
Oh, really?
The Crooniverse, as they call themselves. But Cartoon Network likes to play nothing but Teen Titan Go. Which is terrible.
No, hot take. It's actually it's amazing. It
fucking rules.
It rules so hard.
It's so good. I've seen one episode.
Every time I watch it, it makes me cringe. Like I've seen full episodes, and none of them have been funny to me.
Yeah, and it's fine that it's not for you. Like that's totally fine. But I used to be of the this is not Teen Titans, the show that I grew up enjoying, so therefore it is bad. And then I was stuck in Boston for a Blizzard thing, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just put on the TV, and it was, again, a marathon of Teen Titans Go, and I'm like, oh, this is every, like, meme and webcomic that we've laughed at about superheroes in the past 10 years. They just made a show about that, and that's cool. And it's great.
Like, and certainly my hatred, or my frustration toward, you know, it not being original Teen Titans was a thing for a while, but just all the humor is really, really cringy to me.
Mm-hmm. I do have to say that the movie, there's a lot of people that watch the show and they were like, the show is like meh, but the movie is the best superhero movie that's come out in forever.
I've heard that movie is incredibly good. It's got like a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes, so at some point I'll watch it.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that aside, Steven Universe is great. The season finale was fucking incredible. And I hope that you two, if you haven't seen it yet, you know, will watch up to it. And
yeah, I was catching up this morning, and then I had to sell my car, and then also heard that I have to be out of my house by 12 o'clock instead of 3:30 today. So
you had to sell your car?
Day.
Not my new one, my old one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, what? What happened?
No.
What's going on there?
I guess I'll start with all of that. So back in November, we bought a new car, and we're like, all right, cool. Now we can just sell Tyrone, my old car, and move on. And named Tyrone after Gravity Falls, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And And
I love it.
And so we're like, all right, we can just sell that and basically take any money that anybody wants to give us, which like Blue Book says will be about 2,000. So I'll put up 2,000, and somebody's like, I'll give you 1,000, or I'll give you $1, and I'm just like, cool, just take it.
Like, please just take it.
Yeah, but I am super lazy, so I never did that. And and so then this last week, I'm like, all right, I have to finally get off my ass and go and do it. So I go down there, and what it looks like what happened was somebody was like, this radio looks nice. I'm going to steal this radio. So they start to tear apart my dash to get at the radio, and then they realize, wait, this is a $15 Bluetooth radio Sam got off of Wish.com. It is not a real radio. And they just stopped in the middle. And so it's like tore up on the dash and everything. I'm like, well, now I can't get $2,000 for this. There's no way I could trick somebody into paying money for this car. So I was just like, oh, well. And so I was telling that to my father-in-law, and he was like, oh, just call a junkyard. And I was like, that's a thing? And so I called a junkyard, and they came and picked it up and did all the things and just paid me $500, and I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Fuck
and I'm
yeah.
like, that's great. But then, as I'm outside taking care of all of that, the maintenance guy is like, hey, we're going to be rebuilding all of the stairs on your building today. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, so from noon to 4, your section of the building is going to be inaccessible. Is that okay? And I'm like,
No?
it's not, but like, I can't stop you. So
Yeah.
I guess
Why would you even ask if it's okay?
I guess I'm just going to, like, I'll probably go to Walmart, run some errands, and hang out at the library for a couple of hours before work. I don't know, but yeah.
And Summer's just going to be stuck inside and...
Yep.
Great.
But it'll be okay that Summer's stuck inside because we've been exploring the depths, and by depths I mean the darkest, scariest depths of the Game Boy Advance library together on my RetroPie.
Watch the library.
And so I was looking, and there were across all 3 major regions, Europe, America, and Japan. There were like 2,800 games released for the Game Boy Advance, and they're numbered on most places in release order. And so I was counting back from the last released game down to find what the last like actual game for the Game Boy Advance was, and the one that I could find was Final Fantasy VI Advance. For the U.S. market was number 2,500. So there are 250 shitty games just released at the end of the Game Boy Advance's life cycle.
It was really like very heavily populated with shovelware.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a Nintendo thing in general, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it's because of the most popular.
We played High School Musical. We played. Go ahead.
Play the Lizzie McGuire games.
Oh, we did. We got all 3 of them, and we've been playing all 3 of them. And so the first one is a Flicky clone, which I didn't think that like you could make Flicky clones. I thought that like Flicky was singular, but whatever. And and then the other 2 are the exact same type of platformer that every other Disney tie-in game that we've played is.
Mm-hmm.
And
just
it's
the
great.
Basic rip-off media tie-in platformer. Yeah. I know the genre.
Yeah. And then we also played Britney's Dance Beat, which if you like DDR, but you don't want to press anything faster than an 8th note, and you don't want to press anything other than A or B, Britney's Dance Beat is the game for you. Everything was on a downbeat. The one for Oops, I Did It Again, after you finish the first verse till the end of the song is just bop, 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 all on the A button. There's no variation.
It's rhythm heaven for babies.
That sounds like a rhythm game for Eli.
Oh,
burn.
I mean, you said that you have trouble with rhythm games, right?
I love. What did I? I have trouble with dance games.
Maybe I got mixed up with someone else.
No. Because I love Rhythm Heaven and I love like Rock Band and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
You
There's
probably
somebody I know who really loves rhythm games, but is really bad at them. And I thought that was you. I did not mean to dunk on you unnecessarily. I thought I was dunking on you accurately.
I thought this was an additions burn.
I was thinking of additions.
That I suck at, the additions. But there's no actual rhythm to go by because it doesn't fit music or anything.
Yeah, no.
If it did, then I would own at additions.
Well, you're gonna love Mother 3.
Yeah, Mother 3 is great.
Yep,
that's what I've been hearing. So
yeah. But yeah, Spiffle, how was your week?
Mostly uneventful. Well, a lot of things happened. There were some interesting conversations and emotions and some bullshit, but whatever. I'm not going to talk about that. Ignoring that, me and my friends were, sitting up on a clock tower eating our sea salt ice cream, and we're like, do y'all think this summer's going to last forever? And it didn't last forever. It turned out I was fake. But no. I went shopping with a trans friend of mine and finally got some girl shoes.
Yay!
Which is they're real cute. And a shirt, which is the selfie that I put everywhere. And then I also made a character for a new D&D campaign I'm going to be starting.
Nice.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's this weird D&D variant called X-Crawl, which is like a Running Man situation where it's D&D races and lore, but it's set in the modern day, and your characters are adventuring because you're on a reality TV show where you go into dungeons and fight monsters for big money, big prizes.
Okay.
So my character is a former disgraced professional wrestler who is trying to revitalize his career. So we have it set in the Bay Area, so we're all playing Bay Area stereotypes, and I kept thinking of all the shitty stereotypes, tech bro is the big one, or pharma dude, or investor, or weird really into drugs person, or woo-woo crystal person. And I didn't want to play as a man, but every single character I could think of was male, because I don't know, whenever I think of all the bad kinds of people that there are, they're all so at least in this area especially. So anyway, I'm playing a dude, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's it. Nothing interesting is going on for me. Oh, and of course I'm having the internal debate within myself of whether or not to purchase Kingdom Hearts the Third. I
think
I want it. I don't care that I haven't played any game after 2. I'm just going to fucking jump in. I don't give a shit. On the other hand,
that's the same
I can't actually afford it, and I don't actually have time to play it. On the other hand, I really want it.
Yeah.
So I'll update you next week to see whether or not whether or not that happens.
In the years between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 finally coming out, I kind of just stopped caring about Kingdom Hearts. So, it's going to be a hard sell for me too.
Bad, so but
don't say that around Sam.
No. Here's my hot take, and this is with the clear eyes of an adult. Okay, Kingdom Hearts 1 is actually just an excruciatingly bad game. It's terrible. It has almost no redeeming qualities. Yoshi Shimomura's music is good 20% of the time when it's not being Disney music. The gameplay is horrible. The graphics are stupid. It's a terrible video game. Aside from that, the series owns.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I will not hear any bullshit revisionism about Kingdom Hearts 1 being good, actually. No, it's not.
Yeah. No, the only time that Kingdom Hearts 1 is palatable is when it came out for the PS3/PS4. They remade it in the Kingdom Hearts 2 engine, and therefore you can move your camera and open things with the same buttons as everyone else. And so then it kind of redeemed itself a little bit there, but that's just fixing one of the many problems with that game. But yeah, I went back to replay them, and I was like, oh no, one is not a fun time. But then
really not.
So then I'm like, maybe this whole series that I love is so bad. And then I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm like, oh no, Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably one of the hands down best games on the PS2, and it's weird. It's weird that it's 1 is so bad and 2 is so good. But anywho, I will definitely have more words to say about Kingdom Hearts 3 by the next time we record, which will be 3 days after I will have been binging Kingdom Hearts 3.
He'll be
which
up
means
for
2 days after. Which 2 days after you'll have beaten the entire game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Here's a 100-hour quest, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm staying up 100 hours tonight to beat it in one day.
he'll have that like dawn of the third day pop up.
No, you're gonna pull that biblical shit where you like have to hold your arms up and the time stops.
Yeah.
Which biblical character did that? I don't know.
I don't remember. One of them did.
One of the Old Testament Israelite leaders. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
God, did y'all know that story? Because God was like,
yeah,
we need to win this battle by sundown. So God's like, okay, hold your arms up in the air, and that'll cause the sun to stop in the sky. And after a while, the dude's like, God, my arms are fucking tired. So God's like, okay, well, I'll have your 2 sons hold your arms up.
I should know that story because I went to Catholic school, but I feel like I just kind of blocked out a lot of it.
Catholics mostly ignore the Old Testament.
That's true.
More than Protestants, at least. Anyway, yeah.
Anyhow.
Bible is good.
But Bible is good. You heard it here first, guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. And I already see like 3 typos in this first sentence. So
Excellent.
I apologize in advance for how much I stumble over reading my own words. So last week we left off right before we were heading into the magical city Aeglis, and it was just a stick, as they say.
Yeah, that's a stick.
Just sticking out of the water. And so we head off there now. If you're like me, you instead pause and go and find the Stardust that you had missed, and then finish that thing with Martel. But we head into Aeglis, and the first thing we run into is a whole bunch of robots that talk like Digimon from like the Japanese dub and not the English dub, where like every sentence contains is next to a syllable from their name, and that
sounds obnoxious in the Digimon dub.
Yeah, it's thankfully it's not in the English one, but like in the Japanese, they'll just be like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Q. Blah, 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 Q. Blah, blah, Q, 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 Q." And I'm just like, cute man, I'm going to hit you in the face.
So basically, it's like they saw how Moogles talk in FF6 and were like, what if everyone talked like this all the time? That wouldn't be annoying.
Yes.
It sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. But it's irritating, but it was cute here in Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, no, I love all of these robots. They're all my children.
Yeah, I want them all to live, except we watch them die at the end of this dungeon.
Yeah, it sucks.
I think Buckle's my favorite.
Oh yeah, I love Buckle. So yeah, we go into the dungeon and we meet up with Savan, who's been he was the guy that was watching us last time, and he's been waiting for us to come help him. The dungeon is not even a teleporter maze, is it? I think you literally just like walk over, and then you have the thingy in the middle, and then you walk over to the end. I don't remember much about the dungeon.
I think it's kind of it's not a teleporter maze, but it does incorporate teleporters just as a because I mean we're in Wingly shit, so of course there's going to be teleporters.
Yeah,
which I like that how they're part of like the plot. They're not just there for dungeon reasons.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's like Wingly shit. They have teleporters. That's how their architecture is.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Just like in the forest, there's people that are like, look, I have to carry you up here because like we didn't design this to be accessible by humans, so I'm going to have to fly you up. It's so cool. But yeah, so partway through the dungeon, we meet up with Savan, who says he made himself immortal so that he could study magic and create an alternate world for the Winglies, but they don't want that, so he's been purposeless for thousands of years. They would rather be racist instead of like have their own pocket dimension to live in. That sucks. But
shame upon them.
But around 7,000 years ago, he discovered Rose and her quest, so he started making the psychedelic bomb, which is an ultimate attack spell, and
it's groovy, man.
And then And then he also is working on Moot, which is a super duperly stupid name for a artificial signet stone, I guess. I don't know. It's something to steal the moon that never sets.
Yeah, it renders the moon that never sets moot.
I guess.
Ah, there we go.
I guess. It's
That's
just
the only thing I could get out of it. I was like, yeah, this theme is dumb, but I'm going to go with it.
Especially because, like, he's old, so he's kind of talking like erudite, and he's just like, I've been waiting for you for thousands of years, so I have made moot.
And a psychedelic bomb. Don't ask what's in it.
I really do feel like sometimes when they name things in this game, the writers just like took a wheel, like a spinning wheel, that had a bunch of phonemes on it, and they would just spin the wheel of phonemes, and whatever it points to, so they're like neat, moot, what was it? Hoax. I mean, yeah, that's like an actual word, but like there's no reason it should be that word, so I'm pretty sure that's just like
oh no, it landed on Bart,
random phonemes.
It landed on Bart, but Xenogears has a Bart. Let's change one letter.
Maybe moot was originally boot. They changed it.
But
Doot. like the trumpet skeleton. Doot.
So, but first, before he can make either of those, he needs our courage. So to gather it, he sends us everyone into their own personal hell, so that we can make a choice. And if we do it right, we'll get the best item game, the psychedelic bomb, which is a repeatable magic spell. And I'm guessing because Eli was using a guide and I told Spiffle to get the X, that both of y'all did these correctly.
Yes.
Yep.
And
first try.
Psychedelic bomb. Yeah, same for me. Psychedelic bomb X is psychedelic and a bomb.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
I've only used it one or two times because I hardly ever have someone with a high magic stat in my party right now because I'm like rotating a lot. Also, I'm just always trying to build up my additions, so why would I want to not build up my additions?
Yeah.
But it is occasionally I use it, and it's I think it's an all, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm fighting a boss that's just one bad guy, I'm not going to bother using it. I'll just hit him. Yeah. But if I'm fighting a boss that's like 3 bad guys, oh yeah, I'll definitely.
Hey, Spiffle, you should use it on one bad guys. It does 2,000 damage, judging from like how high you are. Like
how well you button mash.
It did a lot. It wasn't. I don't think it was doing quite that much.
Yeah,
it was doing that much
how good
for me.
You use a power up.
Oh wow!
Use a power up on. So make Albert use a power up on Miranda, and make Dart use a power down on the boss. Then Miranda use the psych bomb, and she'll do like 3,000 damage.
Oh wow! Oh, that's what I'm saying. I haven't had Miranda in my party since I got it.
Yeah, but
but yes, I will take your advice.
Yeah, it's bomb as shit. But yeah, so all the scenes, the personal hell scenes, are all short and a little obvious. The best part about them is Buckle, the guy that's putting everyone through their hell. But like, it's not really like a revelation on anyone. The only thing that's like cool is Savon gets in there for Rose, and he's just like, "Yeah, you have enough courage. I don't really have to like
You're good.
pull it out of you. You've been like literally the bravest face in the history of everything for 10,000 years. So I'll just take some off the top. It's fine."
I thought it was odd how it's like, I don't know. I thought each character was going to be like, really fighting your real demons, like whatever your own personal issue is. Like your vice is this, your vice is this. But I feel like 75% of them were just like, give up. And you're like, no, I'll never give up. And it's like, okay, you win.
Yeah.
That's like one or two of them weren't that. Like one or two of them were like a character actually
like
addressing their actual issues, but most of them were just like, I fight for my friends.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like Kongols was he was facing Emperor Dole, and he had the opportunity to kill him or just take his sword and stop the fighting, and so you take the sword instead of killing him.
Yeah.
And Haschel's was like talking to Claire or something, and so like both of those, it's like, okay, cool. Like those deal with it. Buckle's just like, all right, I'm controlling this place, and I'm going to die. So if I die, you'll die. And she's like, no, I don't want to die. Okay, you pass.
Yeah. Wow. Self-preservation instinct. Okay, to be fair, sometimes I don't have a self-preservation instinct, so I get it. But yeah, the Haschel one was good because it's like he had to accept that he wasn't at fault for what happened, which is cool. Doesn't he say? He says like, "Oh, I did the best I could. I couldn't have stopped what happened." Is what he has to say, which is, that's actually cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. His is real cool. But yeah, other than that, it's boring. It's just
I do like how they made you do all of them before telling you if you got any of them right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Rose also didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yep. It's like, you're Gucci.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dart's, of course, was, will you save Shauna? Yes or no? And he's like, yes. It's like, you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
else
kind
was
of
he
thought they
gonna
might have
say?
been like, well, I kind of thought they might have been like, if the only way to save the world is to kill Shauna, will you do it? But he just Captain Kirks it. He's just like, I don't believe in an unwinnable situation. I'll save Shauna, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should have been like, they should have been like, no, but you can't. Do you understand that? But you actually can't. You're trying to save the world, but if you try to save Shauna, then the world's going to end. Like, you need to accept that. He's like, no, I'm going to save her. It's fine.
And then he leans really close to like his Jeopardy microphone with his hand on the buzzer, and he's like, yes, I would just punch it and save Shauna. Thank you.
Yeah. But apparently that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. So, yeah, we get the Psych Bomb X, and we have the opportunity to mow down every random encounter for the rest of the game if we're not leveling additions. Or, like, if you're just like, oh, I want to come in here and check something real quick, and you're just like, all right, if these assholes don't leave me the fuck alone, you can just blast them away, and it's great. So then Savan takes us down to where he's creating Moot, which is a new signet sphere for the moon that never sets, and it's going to be guarded by a Kraken, but in a move that no one saw coming. I wrote, in a move that no one didn't see coming. Zeke takes control of the Kraken, and we have a boss fight. And it's also revealed that after so long, he developed his own magic powers without being a Wingly, which is cool, I guess. But how was the fight with the Kraken?
It wasn't too bad for me, as I recall. I think
I recall it being very difficult, but same here.
Yeah. It's weak to Dart, and we just got the Psych Bomb, so it's pretty much easy from here on out. Like,
I was worried because the guide I was reading was like, Dart is really weak to this thing and its water attacks, but like it never targeted Dart.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best. Can we just not target the person who's weak to the shit?
Yeah.
For me, it did target him a lot, but the thing is, Dart is just so fucking OP at this point.
Yeah.
He's like 5 levels higher than everyone else because he's always in the party. He's got stupid defense. So, like, I'll have enemies use attacks to hit everyone else for like 1,000 damage, and it hits Dart for like 350. Like, that's just how things are now. I basically never worry about Dart dying. Worst case scenario, the boss kills the other 2 party members, and I run out of revive items, and then it's just Dart, and then I have to just wonder if I'll kill it before it kills me. And frankly, sometimes I do. So, like, Dart is just OP as shit at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, like, getting past the Grand Jewel, and you get into this part of the game where they're not afraid to get, like, all the shops now, like, here in Xenobatos to the end, they sell Dragoon armor that you just wear as your person, which means that you completely absorb your element and also have bitch and defense. And it's like, okay, cool. So I guess, like, I just don't take damage, and then also I have my high level damage and also the Psych Bomb. So now I'm way too damn strong for the rest of this game, but it's okay.
Yep. And Dart has that hurt yourself but do even more damage sword, which I have equipped for every boss, and then I forget to unequip it, so then I'm killing myself fighting trash mobs.
Yeah.
I don't have that sword. Where's that from?
That's the Polter armor, which that you have the Psych Bomb, go fuck the Polter armor up.
Oh.
Like,
you should go back and do that.
Okay.
Just take Rose or Miranda in there, and probably Rose because with her armor from Xenobatos, because then she'll absorb everything and put on her hairband and blow up the place. So it'll be great.
Okay.
But so after the fight, our Dragoon magic overloaded the neutron flow of the flux capacitor or some bullshit, and so
basically,
and so Moot overloads and begins to destroy both the signet stone that was there, and also the whole city, and also Savan, and also all of the robots. So we have to walk by and watch all of our friends die, and like there'll be some NPCs, the little robots, they're still working, and so you'll go over to them like, maybe I have to tell them it'll be okay and to get out, and you go to talk to him, and he just like, oh, what, the place is ending, well, I guess I'm dead now, and falls down and flickers out and disappears like it's a dead person's body, and they're like,
to clarify, okay. These robots, they're like magical constructs that are created for the sole purpose of performing work. Because me and Sam can't think of anything in terms outside of Homestuck and or Mass Effect.
Yeah.
They're like the keepers in the Citadel, right? They're part of the place. They are run by magic. They keep everything running. They don't really have they have very simple minds. Like they clearly run on very simple subroutines. So the place is destroying, and they're all just like, alas, I die.
Yeah.
But it's sad because they're cute, and they ham up the death scenes too.
Yeah, like this is definitely the like clutching your chest, like middle school one act play type deaths. Like
yeah. My only regret is that I have conitis. Yeah, they're basically all doing that.
But it's great. So then we get out of the city and we teleport to the lost city of Xenobatos, aka the robot DMV that I've been so excited for you guys to get to, and it owns.
It was
it rules.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. Eli ran into the part that everybody hates about it, and so I know like exactly what you're going to say about it because you mentioned it in the host only. But this is why everyone says it sucks, but I still think it rules. It sucks.
I love it in general, but I'm bad at it.
So yeah, the place is this big sprawling complex with a bunch of like floating platforms and stuff, and no teleporters. Oddly enough, no, I take that back. There are teleporters when you're going to the individual places, but it's like you have the legislative center that you go to where you like wait in line, like literally you have to stand,
to literally wait in a queue.
You have to wait in the queue to come up and state your case on what law you want to be changed, because I forgot to mention, when you get there, everything is against the law. You're like, okay, I want to go to the Signet Sphere and save it from my evil dad, and it's like, yeah, sorry, humans can't go to the Signet Sphere, it's against the law. And you're like, okay, well, let me go and do blah, blah, blah. Sorry, that's against the law too. You really can't do anything. But you could just walk in and ask the law to be changed, and they'll do it.
And Dart even comments, he's like, wait, anybody can change the laws? And they're like, eh. One thing that's cute is they don't tell you, you have to manually punch in the number of the law. So, like, you fucking forget, like, you have to remember, like, oh, that was law. I think the important one was 630, or, no, 730.
No, it's 703.
703 is the one for the Signet Sphere, or Signet, whatever.
And then 410 is the one for the teleporter that you have to do.
Okay. Yeah. And what's cute here is, I actually, if I have one complaint, this is gonna be the typical Maddie hot take. My complaint is that it wasn't long, convoluted, or obnoxious enough.
Yeah.
Well, because like this is basically the scene from Hitchhiker's Guide, the movie, when they have to like get the presidential release form, or the even better scene from Jupiter Ascending, where they have to do something. I think that it's literally a DMV, right?
Yes,
and there's this montage of them going to all the different places. Like, I think that shit's hilarious. So having like one side, because when you first get there, there's like, oh, you can only go to these 3 areas. There's other areas, but you can't go to them. I misread that and thought maybe I could go there. Like somehow, like I could change the law and then go to these other places as well. Because Sam had said in the chat, oh, it's easy. If you remember, you have to go to these 3 places. I very quickly read your message and thought you were saying you only have to go to these 3 places as opposed to other places.
No, it was the order.
So I get that now. So I was thinking that I could go to the other places too. Anyway, it's actually very simple. You go, you ask the law to be changed. Then they give you a pass. And you go to the law factory.
Because that's where they build the laws.
well, that's the funny thing. Laws here are not abstract concepts. A law is literally a floating robot that tells you what to do. That's a law. So they build the law. Then you have to take the law launch pass over to the law launcher, where they literally shoot the law out of a cannon, and it flies wherever it's supposed to go. So really, if you remember the number 703, it's just 3 places. 1, 2, 3, bada bing, dungeon over. But you can pass a law that makes it where you don't have to wait in line anymore.
Which I did. And then I realized I had to go to all the places, so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just deal with the guards, because I don't want to have to go through all that bullshit to have to turn off the guards as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If the actual critical path was more complicated, then it would actually be a time saver to turn off waiting in line or to turn off the guards. Mm-hmm. But since the critical path is only one thing, it's turning off those things, that's 3 things.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. It would have been cool if I had felt really smart for doing those optional laws to make life easier later. Mm-hmm. But instead, it's like, well, no, you could have just not done that
and only have to do it already. Once. Yeah.
And also, you can turn off the shop, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
which I didn't do.
It's one to trick you, because you get like every place you get, it's like humans are not allowed to do blah blah blah, and you get to the shop, it's like humans are not allowed to shop in the shop, and so you can go and change that law if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you change the law, then I guess it would be like, oh, now I can't use the shop.
Yeah. But yeah, this dungeon is like if I were to travel back in time to the fantasy world of this game being created, and I would see the pitch document, I guarantee you they would have been like, all right, it's like Power Rangers meets Final Fantasy, and you go to a robot DMV, and this is my idea for a dungeon. It's like such a specific, like, weird, bizarre thing, and I'm so glad that it made it into the final game.
It's like a DMV/courthouse, because
yeah,
because you're going through, you're changing laws, but you're also waiting in long lines, and
yeah, it's great. And then it's beautiful. Also, I guess, like an artillery department, because there's a giant cannon from which you shoot your laws.
I also really like at the part where you get to the law, the final one where you finally get the law made, and you're floating up there, and all the robots sit back and go, wait for your turn, and they're all just saying that over and over and over. It's really hilarious.
It's great.
Yeah, and so, yeah, like, theoretically, like, so, the thing that, Eli, we actually, maybe I interrupted, but we got around this. Eli, the part that was so annoying for you was the stealth part, right?
Yes, and there was, like, I got really tired of it, and there was one part where I kept getting hung up because I forgot there was a chest there I should stand beside, and then go to the teleporter, and Sam had to remind me. I was like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, there's one part that's like hilarious. So on your way back from the Legislative Center the first time, they actually change the behavior of one of the AIs to automatically catch you. Like, there's an auto way around it the first time, and so it'll drop you off in the prison. And so everyone's like, well, crap, they teleported us into a prison, and there's no doors or windows or anything. How are we going to get out? Are we just going to die here? And then Maru's like, wait, where's Kongal? And then he goes, oh yeah, and jump up through the wall.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I was too heavy to teleport, so they just left me outside. So I thought I would save you guys.
Yeah, so this game is often, like, pretty funny, but I was, like, legitimately, like, laughing my ass off at that part. Like, that was definitely the biggest laugh the whole game has gotten out of me, because, well, not just because he literally Kool-Aid Man's through the door, but also because, like, I think his line, he says something, he's just like, hey, what are you guys doing? Or he says something like super dry and low key.
Why you
like,
leave Kongal outside?
I think he's just like, sup, what, like, why'd y'all leave me outside? And he's like, you just fucking busted through a wall and rescued your friends from an inescapable prison. He's just like, sup. and after that point, every time you fall in, the same thing happens. Every time you fall into the prison, Kongal isn't teleported. So I guess you get teleported to the prison. Kongal just walks down there manually. Yeah. And then he goes, give me I think he's give Kongal a break.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if he means, like, figurative, like, give me a break, this keeps happening. Or he's like, y'all need to give me a break because this is a lot of work. Every time I have to fucking do this.
It's great. And, like, the best part is that scene works because Kongal hasn't mattered since the first dungeon of Disc 2. He's kind of not been there. So you, as the player, have forgotten about Kongal like in these story scenes. So it's like, all right, what is everybody going to do? And you don't even notice that Kongol's not a part of it until he busts through the wall.
Yeah.
It's so good.
What was I going to say? It was something else Kongol related, and I've totally lost it. Never mind. All right.
Oh well.
Oh well.
If it comes to you, we can bring it back up. We're like 2/3 of the way done with everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
So after the other bullshit part besides the sneaking or whatever is, so you go and you get your law taken care of, and then you come back to go to the Signet Sphere, and then after you deal with the Signet Sphere in the boss fight, which we'll go about in a second, you then try to leave, and it's like, oh, the teleporter's turned off because of blah 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 blah. So you have to go through the whole dungeon one last time to change the law again, which is the part that most people hate, but I love because it's stupid. But yeah, so after, I guess technically the midpoint of the dungeon, if you only do it one time, we get over to the Signet Stone, but the Justicar has been reprogrammed by Zeke somehow, and now it's against the law to be 7 friends named Dart and Rose and Miranda and Albert and Haschel and Kongol and Maru. And it's like, you literally show up, it's like, all right, sign your name. And it's like, oh, your names are Dart and Rose and Miranda. And
and they're like, you have been accused. And they're like, accused of what?
And so then you get into a boss fight with Lady Justice and her 2 friends that are real annoying.
Yeah.
How is this winged executioner boss fight?
I had a hell of a time with it. I had to reset like 5 times because the guide I was reading said put Miranda in your party. I'm like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got Miranda in my party, and I beef her up with all my magic stuff. And I don't have a power up. First of all, I totally missed it back in the Forbidden Lands, which I guess I'll probably go back and get it before.
Yeah, because Kulon can take you there like it's no big deal.
Yeah. Which is fucking amazing. I love having that weird flying manta ray.
Yeah, we finally unlocked fast travel at the beginning of this dungeon.
Yeah.
Fast-ish.
It's fantastic.
Our airship is our friend.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
So I've got Miranda and I've got Dart and Rose, and Miranda takes her turn first, and then so I use the psych bomb, and then the 3 justices decide to confuse me and petrify me and all this shit. And I realized after like 4 times, like, I can't do a special because Miranda doesn't have enough SP, so I've got to go start some encounters, get my SP up because I don't have any SP potions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, and then finally, once I had Miranda at full SP, it was a fucking cakewalk. I used my psych bomb, and then as soon as someone got petrified or confused, or I think I used a depetrification at one point, but then like as soon as someone got confused, I went into special, and suddenly not confused anymore. And then that lady who keeps trying to confuse me can't do fucking shit.
Yeah, except heal her friends.
Except heal her friends, yeah. But actually, I think we killed her friends fast enough that she couldn't do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
It felt pretty damn good.
That's good. But yeah.
Yeah, I one-shotted it, but it was pretty tough. I was doing the death juggle where like one person dies, and then I try to revive them, and then someone else dies, and I revive them, and and then finally I revive them and heal, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I was joking, but like, of course, as soon as one of the 3 characters heals all of them, I'm like, oh. So I was focusing all my attacks on the one on the left because I didn't know. I was like, why not just pick the one on the left? But the one on the right is the one who's the healer. So as soon as she heals it, I'm like, okay, everybody attack the one on the right now. And as soon as she was dead, as soon as one on the right was dead, it was fine because the game doesn't like compensate when one dies. I think it was harder. So it's like classic, and that's one problem with a lot of JRPG battles, which is like if there's multiple enemies, the farther on the battle goes, the easier it is, which is like the opposite of drama. Yeah. Right? But it's like, oh, there's only one left now? Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to win in a couple turns.
Yeah. This one does have the thing where, like, theoretically, if you killed them fast enough, the middle one would get his super buff power towards the end.
Oh, it does do that kind of thing, but it didn't happen.
It happened really early for me, and so I'm like, all right, never mind. But
yeah, it was tricky. Luckily, darts all attack spell is really nasty.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of mileage out of that. It's 80 MP, but I have a shit ton of MP restore items, so like, yeah. He's not even supposed to be your magic guy, but he does hella magic.
Yeah.
His summon is like one of the best. Rose's summon is also great, just because I know her dragon's name is Michael, because why the fuck not name your, like, if one of your characters' names is like Kongol and Hashel, why not make the other your big scary dragon monster be named Michael?
That's really funny. Actually, in the excellent video game Dragon Guard 3, you're this cool mean lady who rides on a dragon, and the dragon is like a small child, like it's got like a little kid voice. Anyway, the dragon is Mikhail, so nice. Michael in Russian. So that's cool. It's not the only time a dragon has had a very mundane name.
That's great. So I guess technically her dragon being named Michael is a spoiler for next time, because when you're in the final dungeon is when you learn all of that, but whatever. So so when we finish the fight, we're too late. The moon dagger is laying spent on the floor, and the signet is already destroyed. So we're like, dang it, we lost, and Zeke shows up and is like, yeah, you fucking did. And
get wrecked, son.
He says that the world is calling out for Shauna to end it, and she wants to end the world too. And Dart's like, no, she doesn't. So he attacks Zeke, and Zeke just bitch slaps him and flies off to Mayfil. And
I'm like, Dart, you don't know. Maybe she does.
Right. And so we then go to our friend Kulan, who asked to give us a ride there, and he's like, oh, I can't fly to Mayfil. We'll have to use the teleporter, which we have to go and get the another law, which is silly, but I love it.
Yeah. At this point, I was a little bit glad that I had changed the other laws.
Yeah.
Because then I was able to do it, but like it saved like a minute probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we finally make it over to Mayfil, and Rose is surprised that the city is still operating, because the Dragoons figured the whole being able to decide eternity for literally everyone was a bad idea. But the souls of people are still gathering there, and they say that it might not be like it might only be people with like that would otherwise go to purgatory type thing, like unfinished business. Like it might be only their souls that are stuck here, and not everyone like it used to be. But we then have a bunch of optional fights to send these people on their way if we want. I fought 2 of them, and it was great, and I knew that the third one would not be great, so I did not fight the third one.
Same here. One of them was easy, one of them was medium.
I didn't do any of them. I was going through the one that had the Divine Dragon, and apparently I got too close, so Dart and Miranda decided, hey, we're going to fight this. And I had no say in the matter, so I had to reset, which undid all of my Mayfil progress.
Yeah. Thankfully, Mayfil is the Rogue Galaxy dungeon of Legend of Dragoon. There are no like branching paths besides ones that terminate in a.
Encounters though are fucking crazy hard. For random encounters, they're stupidly hard.
Just throw a psych bomb.
Which I finally did, and was like, oh, I should have done that in the first place. But I need to train my additions. I finally learned how to Albert.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and
Albert is not easy. I still don't have Gust of Wind Dance down.
I got it, dude. Every
time I get into a boss fight, I'm like, all right, I need that 350% attack on Albert. So here's the Ultimate War God. There's no way in hell I can get this.
I bought the Ultimate War God, but I put it on Dart's final attack. Because I was like, I don't want to learn this shit, and I've got Albert down, so fuck it, it's going on Dart. And I figured out Hardblade too, so I don't need it on Rose. But like nice. I might go back to more and more, because Hardblade gives me like 0 SP compared to more and more.
Yeah. Yeah, I flip flop between the two of them depending on if it's a magic fight and I want more Dragoon or if I want more damage. And I typically go for the damage because I think I've turned into a Dragoon like 3 times in this whole fucking game.
I really feel like the amount of damage you get in Dragoon form is just not stupendously more than just getting a max edition. You know, it's not way the hell more. It's like kind of more.
No, but
unless it's a specific spell.
Astral
right?
Drain.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain spells that are very useful. Yeah.
And also, like, popping myself out of status conditions.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible.
That's useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I at this point, I feel like being level 5, I feel like sometimes it's almost more of a penalty because, like, if you make all of your dudes go into Dragoon form for 5 entire turns, that's actually just usually going to end up in you dying because you can't fucking heal.
Yeah.
I'll have Dart do that, but other people doing it, I'm like, I'm gonna die before this runs out.
Yeah. It depends on the fight.
The defense up is a big deal. The defense up is very good.
Yes. Yeah, Albert's
huge.
Rose Storm is incredible.
Oh, I just mean the Dragoons having more defense.
Oh, yeah,
Dragoon.
I have Albert.
Rose Storm is also amazing.
Is fantastic.
Eli, I do recommend going back and fighting Fairbrand and Regal because they're easy.
Okay.
And, that's a free, 12,000 experience points. So
that's true.
Go and take them on. Don't try for the Divine Dragon. This was the I was about to say, you know how in Final Fantasy VII, which of course you don't.
Nope.
But
I sure don't. But thanks for asking.
Starting with Final Fantasy VII is when this kind of became codified as a real deal. It had been there in a lot of the SNES ones, but it became par for the course in Final Fantasy VII is post game fuck you hard sort of boss fights, and there's always the one that everyone knows about, in Kingdom Hearts 1. You're oh, Kurt Ziza out in Agrabah, that's super hard. But then there's also the Phantom at Neverland, that's also super freaking hard, and
Sephiroth.
And Sephiroth, who's super hard, and the Ice Titan, who's super hard, and they just have all these hidden super hard ones. This one is the obvious Kurt Ziza. It was oh, here's the Divine Dragon, and then Faust is the harder one that you have to go and seek out. But
yeah. Small tip, Eli. From the entrance of Mayfil, the first one you get to, is by far the easier of the two. Maybe that's just my experience, but in my experience, it was way the hell easier. So try that one first, and then if you beat that one, then do the other one.
I almost did Fairbrand the second time I came through Mayfil, but I was
yeah, you can totally handle him.
Yeah, so right now that you're in the future and you have Psych Bomb, definitely fight Fairbrand, fight Regal, go back and fight the Polter Armor, go back and fight Kamui. Just wait, rake in this easy side quest experience to help you towards the end of the game. They won't even take that long because you have Kulan to fly you directly there on all of them.
Yeah.
To use a throwback meme that normies were using 7 years ago, get all the XP.
I don't know that meme, but
it's the hyperbole and a half, clean all the things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hyperbole and a half is brilliant, and it makes me sad that normies ruined that meme by making it extremely stupid all the time.
Yeah.
I do like hyperbole and a half, and I haven't read it in so long.
Yeah. But, yeah. Yeah, so, there's this one part in the dungeon where you have this puzzle that's way too hard. It's a super easy puzzle, but the way they obfuscated it was almost as hard as the one in Shuggy the Christmas Elf, and I do not like it. I'm glad that I had a guide because so what it is you're walking out over a grid of nothingness where you can fall to your death, but some of the grids are actually there for an invisible walkway, and you can tell they're there if this magical energy from below gets stopped by it. But it's not a constant stream. It's randomly. And so sometimes you can get to a place and you're all right, where do I go next? And you wait for 30 seconds until a laser hits the right spot and you can know to go on.
The good news is there's never any false paths.
Yeah.
It's the same every game, so using a guide meant that I didn't have any trouble with it. Well, except Except the guide told me one too many squares at one point, and so I fell down, and I was like, all right, well, the guide's wrong there, so I'll just go
Me
back up.
too. All in all, it's not bad.
It's weird.
But on the side rooms of that, you get some more plotty things. One of which involves Dart, and I don't know which dead person. I think it might be Claire, his mom, but it doesn't really say. But someone's like, "I believe in you. You can do everything," type thing, and it's really cute, but unexplained. And I've beaten the game 5 times, unexplained.
Go point.
But and then the other one is super cool, and it's everyone that Rose killed is like ripping her a new one for killing them and doing everything. And Rose, instead of just being like, "It was my job," she begs for forgiveness and says she promises that she's going to fix everything and then die. And it's like, damn, Rose, like, I get it, but like, damn. Way different from just, I wore a choker to be goth for 10,000 years that you were like last disc. But then
the 10,000 Year Goth sounds like a great like young adult novel.
Yeah, man, I would legitimately read a like memoir of Rose.
Yeah,
like it would be dope. But anywho, I would probably skip like the 10,000 chapters in the middle where it's like, and then I woke up and killed a baby.
And then
because most of it's like, oh, go on.
I was gonna say I killed a baby, and then I did nothing else for 108 years.
Then I came back and killed another baby.
Like, is she a badass warrior? Yes, but like killing a baby and then leaving. It's not exactly something that
she had to kill. It was like if every 108 years a new Hitler was born.
Mm.
I actually would not kill baby Hitler because did y'all hear about that?
Yes.
No, I missed that. I try to ignore Ben Shapiro news because I hate him.
And what's funny is that no one asked him, and so that's why it was weird. Like, if someone had asked him, that'd be one thing, but everyone's like, "Why are you bringing up Hitler?"
Someone's just like, hey Ben, how's the weather today? Well, I want to kill baby Hitler if that's what you're asking.
It's not.
Unlike
Thanks.
liberals,
yeah.
unlike liberals, I don't believe in killing babies, and I'm just like, okay, Ben Shapiro, noted baby Hitler supporter.
Oh God! All right, that's terrible.
Right, so, yeah, so let's move on to the moment that we've all been waiting for, which is I did growing up, I didn't see this coming. When I replayed it, I didn't see. I mean, I knew it was there, but I still forgot because you're just like, oh, I'm in hell and I'm facing all of the dead things, and I fought all of the I have the opportunity to fight all of the dead bosses from before. I wonder if there's any important death to me in this whole game that I might have some unresolved business with.
Yep. And it's totally obvious in retrospect. It's like, wait, you can see dead people here. I wonder if anyone has died over the course of this adventure. But yeah, I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah, I know. I was super thrilled for this.
Yeah, and so you come into this room and you're like, finally a save point after this boss rush that I skipped, and then before you can get to the save point, Darth's like, wait, is that? And then in floats like a Home for Infinite Losers type cloud of soul, and then it poofs into existence and it's Lavitz, and he's just like, hey guys,
Gene,
and
yeah.
And so you chase after him, and he says that he's so proud of Dart for becoming stronger, and he says that Mayfil is running because of all of the negative emotions of all the souls that have passed have attracted devils who are holding all of these souls hostage in Mayfil, and then he turns ashy gray and has a giant bug on his back, and we're like, these damn devils better take their hands off our boy. And we get into a boss fight with Lavitz. And how is this boss fight for you guys?
It was a little rough at times, but for the most part, it wasn't too bad. I figured out the parts where I couldn't do damage. And so I just like spent that time guarding, except that at the beginning I decided to go Dragoon form for everyone. Because I was like, I'm gonna get Lavitz down to 0 health as soon as possible so he'll split from that horrible demon, because I want to save my boy, my precious son, who I've missed dearly, and I still miss him because his additions were easier than Albert. Regardless, But he like got down to a really low health and then turned around toward us, so I wasn't doing damage to the thing on his back anymore. But he came and he just like he fucking like tried to annihilate me. His additions were he was using his gust of wind dance. Thankfully, it only did like a couple hundred DPS or a couple hundred damage. But I think Albert and Dart were near dead by the time I killed the demon thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, thank God, finally.
So what happens if you actually attack his face before he transforms?
He attacks you back with his additions and stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, the way this battle works, right, is, and I'm saying this to the listeners, not to y'all. The way this battle works is, every couple turns, and this happened to me on like the first turn, right? Because I don't want to fight my boy Lavitz, right? I don't want to hurt him. So you're talking to him, and I'm hitting defend, like I don't want to fight him. And then you can make a dialogue choice. Like Dart, you can either you can call out to him.
Oh yeah.
And if you call out to him, you're like, Lavitz, we love you. And he's like, Grr, or something, or who am I? And then he turns around. And when he turns around, he exposes the demon and you can hit him. So I'm like, I would never want to attack my sweet precious boy. So I didn't attack into his face a single time because I was frankly worried about what would happen if I did do that. What if this is one of those plot battles where it can go two ways? What if I could kill Lavitz or something? So I was scared to go into Dragoon form because I'm like, if I go into Dragoon form and he turns back to face me, I have to hit him because you can't defend when you're in Dragoon form. So I managed to get through the entire battle, never attacking his front because I didn't know what would happen. But it turns out it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, he does 0 damage to him.
Yeah.
Right, and you feel bad.
Yeah.
but I was so worried because the game had me caring. I was like, I don't even want to risk it. I don't know. I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't know that after the demon goes into the ground or whatever, I didn't know that it was invulnerable. I thought it was invulnerable to the attack that I had just done. So I tried all of my different ways of doing damage and wasted a lot of time. But also it goes on for way too goddamn long. So I
was gonna ask all that. So he's just totally invulnerable in that phase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure either. Then I was like, I guess I'll just defend.
Yeah.
Get some free health, I guess.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah. So at the end of the fight, the demon, whose name is Zackwell, goes back into Lavitz and makes him attack us. But instead, our perfect son stabs himself with a spear to kill the demon on his back, like Goku and Raditz type thing. And
it's badass.
It was so badass. Yeah. It was so good. And everyone's like, "No, Lavitz," and he's like, "Hey, guys, I'm a ghost, so I'm not dead, so it's okay."
Well, and Dart says, Lavitz says, "I'm already dead," and Dart's like, "You're not dead. You'll live forever with us." And I was like, "Oh, my heart, my heart."
And Lavitz is like, "I get what you're saying, but also I am dead.
I am actually dead." Yes.
And then so Lavitz apologizes for making us feel bad, and he's glad that the demon at least held on to his soul, that he could see them one more time, even in death. And Dart and Albert tell Lavitz that he lives on in their hearts, and all of us cry. And then they do a 3-way bro fist handshake hug, and it's amazing. And that was
really good.
That was the one picture that I had thrown up as a visual reference to something, and I was like, "Oh, Eli could see this. That Lavitz is back and has a giant hole in his chest and is shirtless, and all of these things that would let him know that the different things happen at the end."
I didn't see it.
It's a real good like shot of them just three-way bro hugging.
Also, this is the first full 3D in-game cutscene we've had in a while.
Yeah.
We had one at the end of last disc, I think.
Oh yeah, all right.
Because you said the same thing last time. You're like, this was our first in-game that we've had in a while. So I think we had one at the end of last disc, but this is the first one in disc 4.
Yeah.
But it's not the last.
It's good. Honestly, at first I thought it was kind of rough. Like it was sweet seeing Lavitz, but it was also like not all good emotions because it's like bringing up all this shit. You know, it's like like bringing up all the bad memories. Like I thought it was rather painful to experience actually at first, and then at the end it's all just very sweet and nice. But at first it's just like, oh god, like why are we being tormented by having to see this person that died? You know. Yeah. That was even before he got possessed by an evil demon. You had to fight him. Not even ignoring that part. Yeah. Also, apparently, devils are a thing now in the lore.
Yeah. Why not?
They weren't before, but okay.
That's okay.
Don't worry about it.
So, Lavitz then uses the last bit of strength that the demon gave him to send us a big shaft of light up to the signet blocker.
Oh yeah, he's got a big shaft, all right.
Which is the point of no return. If you go to step into it, Rose will be like, do you have any unfinished business? Because this is the big deal. And it's like, plot-wise, it's not. We're just going and checking on a signet. How does she know? How does she know that things are going to go south and we'll be at the point of no return? It's just like, this is steps up to a place we were going.
Look, she's been alive for 11,000 years. I think she knows a thing or two.
Yeah. You're right.
Every time this kind of thing happens, it's like, look, we know we're going to go to all 3 dungeons, and each time we're going to get there too late, and the bad guy is just going to fix the thing. So how about we just don't do any of those 3 dungeons and go just do whatever's going to happen next now? Or why don't we find out which one the bad guy's going to go to last, go to that one first? Instead of like, oh, he got us again. Oh, he got us again. Oh, he got us again. But yeah, in context of the plot, Rose is like, okay, guys, are we sure we don't need to go back and fight a bunch of optional bosses? And they're like, what are you talking about? We keep talking about how we need to hurry because the bad guy's going to destroy the signet stone. It's right the fuck there. I don't understand why you're making why you're doing this. But she's right. I am going to go back and fight all the optional bosses.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, that's the end of our playthrough. Let's do a lightning round through the memorable moments. I just have one this time around. So mine was right. I think we're in Aeglis, about to head out to Xenobatos, and Dart is like, the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, was born for destruction only. Its existence might have the same sorrow. And Rose is like, well then let's try and make it feel better by making sure it'll never be born.
Wow, that is metal.
Noted pro-choice activist Rose.
It's so good.
I was saying earlier, I love Buckle. Buckle, the little robot magic guy, his whole thing is to tell Miranda how gross she is, how much he hates her over and over. He just like, ugh, I hate you. And I mean, like, his end thing is to say, ugh. So, it just kind of punctuates the fact that he's just so over Miranda. He's so disgusted by her. And it's just like, what is your problem? Also, like, I mean, this is hilarious, but why do you hate her so much?
It's good.
Yeah, it made me think of, like, Mean Girls. Like, you don't even go here.
Right.
She wasn't a part of our party until disc 3. And I just kind of felt the same way. I was like, I miss Shauna. Even if I never used her, I miss her. Because, I got attached to her. And Miranda is kind of a weird character. But like, just Buckle's pure disgust with her is hilarious to me.
It's so good. Yeah, I love
like
that.
Meg and Family Guy, except actually funny and not just weird and upsetting. Yeah. and misogynistic.
Yeah, very much so.
I love like that the little magic robots are the ones administering these tests at the end, because like they don't have deep personalities, so that's why all of them are just like, Are you brave? Yes or no? Yes. All right, you passed.
Cool. Wow, I'm so inspired by your bravery of picking "Yes, I'm brave" from a checklist.
It's just good. Like that.
I always question the basis of. Mm-hmm. I always question the basis of illusion-based tests of like character because it's like you know it's an illusion, so you just do the thing you're supposed to do, even if you wouldn't normally do that in that situation because it's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like
either the illusion is like, I don't know, like maybe I'm making up a fake scenario, but like, your main thing is lust. No, your main thing is jealousy. So you're going to give into your jealousy, and it's like, okay, but proving that you can pass a test is different than proving that you could actually overcome jealousy in an actual situation.
Yeah.
But whatever. Luckily, those robots are too dumb.
Yeah,
You know that.
but what about you? Did you have anything you wanted to highlight?
I just have one basically. We actually mentioned this earlier, but I actually took a screenshot. So I said that when Kongal Kool-Aid Man's through the door, he has a really funny line. It's actually better than any of the lines that we thought it was, because I actually took a screenshot of it. So yeah, so first of all, you drop down, and they're like, how are we going to get out? What are we going to do? This is like that part in Star Wars Episode 4. Oh no. And then all of a sudden, someone goes, wait, where's Kongal? And then he bursts through the door, and all he says is, he goes, sorry, Kongal is late. And, like, I guess you could read that as, like, sorry I took so long to come rescue you, but I definitely read it more like, he didn't consider this rescuing. He's just like, oh, you guys are all in there? I need to be in there, too. And then he busts in, and he's like, sorry I took so long to get here, guys. What are y'all doing? And then they're like, you
why we
rescued
hang
us.
out
And he's
down
like,
here?
I what? Yeah. So it's like that's so friggin' funny. Like, and again, this is one time where the trend, I have no idea if it's the original line or the localization. Like, who the fuck knows what this line's supposed to be? I don't know. It's not like we know much about Kongal's character or personality, so we can't parse it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's this enigmatic line that is just stupendously funny. And that's it for me. Aside from stuff we've already talked about.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do us for the week. Got a real short one this time around. But as a reminder, our next game is Final Fantasy X, and we have 2 episodes left of this game. So in 3 weeks, we will do our first episode on Final Fantasy X. And we will also open up the voting for our best game we did not play in 2018 at that time. And yeah, it'll be super cool and exciting. So definitely hang out with that. We're also probably going to watch Warriors of Virtue for our movie night in the Discord for Legend of Dragoon, because there's really not anything like Legend of Dragoon, and I tried to be cheeky and see if there was like a dragon-based Sentai show or something, but there wasn't. So Warriors of Virtue is a really crappy kung fu movie in which all of the people have they all transform into kangaroos that have their own element. So it's close enough to Legend of Dragoon, so why not? But it was a real bad turn of the century kung fu movie.
Wonderful. Quick interruption. Sorry, I meant to mention this earlier. You know how last week all 3 of us were like, "What did we do this week? I don't know." And then we're like, "Oh, right, GDQ. We fell into a GDQ shaped hole and lost our memories."
Yeah.
That's what happened this week. Shout out to H Bomber Guy for completely owning the transphobes of the world. Specifically, what's his ass? IT crowd guy. Graham Linehan, for doing an amazing stream of Donkey Kong 64, which is, it should be noted, a really, really bad game.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
And he does a 101% stream of the entire game, and at first he just does it to own, he literally just did it intentionally to own Graham Linehan. He's like, hey, you're a shitty TERF who's trying to shut down what's it called? Not unicorn. Mermaids. I knew it was some magical creature. Trying to shut down Mermaids UK. I'm going to raise money to help mermaids with my stream. And it just blew the fuck up.
It really did.
They got ContraPoints on there. They got
Chelsea Manning.
Peterman from Chapo Trap House. They got Chelsea Manning. They got Alexandria Ocasio-fucking-Cortez on there. Yep. They got my arch nemesis Grant Kirkhope on there. I would have screamed if I'd been watching it. Good on him for supporting the cause, but also, you know how I feel about Grant Kirkhope. He's still my mortal enemy.
Grant, if you're listening, you're actually probably my favorite video game musician, and me and Spiffle do not share views. So please continue to listen.
Views are not the views of the RPG.
Also, Grant Kirkhope, if you're listening, also, Grant, if you're listening to our podcast, I'm very surprised, and that's amazing, and I'm honored. And I take back everything I said. Never mind, you're great. Please keep listening to our podcast. I have no integrity. I will not stand by my opinions. Tell all your friends to listen to RPG Book Club. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell all the other cool composer friends. Anyway, it was just awesome. Also, like, now it used to be that if you wanted to own people, like, there are all these weird in jokes, right? Like, if you want to own libs, like Centrist Libs, you send them like an emoji of a corn cob, and they're like, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's this in-joke among us leftists. Well, now, there's this weird new bizarre thing where anytime someone's being a TERF, you just see in their mentions, everyone's just sending GIFs of Donkey Kong.
Yes.
And it's like, they don't understand. Donkey Kong is now a trans icon for some reason. Or if someone's being a TERF online, you just ask, you're like, hey, do you know how to beat something Beaver. What's his name?
I can't remember. He's
he's like, hey, do you know how to beat Beaver Bother? And you just ask them questions about Donkey Kong 64, and 2019 is off to a very interesting start.
Yeah.
It's good, fam. Oh, and they raised a fuck
over $300,000. I almost said gold, and then I almost said money, but $300,000 money.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's like 15% of an entire fucking GDQ.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That just shows the power of spite.
It was incredible. Like, and I wish I had watched the stream, but I had a notification that it was going to be going on because he did a thing on YouTube about it, but I just totally forgot about it because I would have liked to have donated and like checked it out and everything, but Yeah,
I was way too busy to watch hardly any of it.
I didn't realize that he wasn't a speedrunner because like most people I follow on Twitter and stuff are speedrunners. So it's like, oh, so and so is going to be doing a stream at 101%. I'm like, okay, that'll last about the 3 hours. So then I was like, I kept checking back on Twitter, and it's just like he had to take a nap so that he could keep going. So we'll be here all night just watching his chair. And I'm like, wait, like. Really? Like, it's still going? And so, like, I thought I'd missed it, like, 4 times, and then it was still going, but I was at work, and et cetera, so I didn't get to check it out either.
Also, a bunch of actual speedrunners did have to come to the stream and help him. Yeah. The bosses, give him their tips.
I've been watching H-Bomber Guy videos for a couple of years now. He's really insightful. He does these great, like, reasoned response videos to assholes on YouTube. He does some video game analyses. He's the guy behind Fallout 4 is garbage, or Fallout, one of the Fallouts is garbage, and here's why. And
nice.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of him.
Really?
I hadn't either, but I just got the brilliant idea, guys. We need to go to his Twitch and clip the entire stream and put it up as a run on speedruns.com.
Call it Graham Linehan % or something like that. Yeah, he's sorry for derailing, but I had to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
that was
for
incredible.
Sure.
It was a great thing that happened.
It was so good. Do you happen to know if he got the actual 101% where you get?
I'm pretty sure he actually did it. Yeah.
Because last year they found a new rainbow coin that invalidated all previous 101% runs. Oh. You know if he got that one?
But that sounds like a speed run.
Considering how many people were watching the stream,
they probably told him.
Someone would have told him, just like, hey, you got to get this one.
Just ground pound right here. I know it doesn't make sense, but do it. And then there was
just fucking do
it. But yeah,
that's wild.
But yeah. Go support trans rights, and then also go to our Patreon at patreon.com/RPGbookclub, and then drop us a line at rpgbookclub@gmail.com or on Twitter at rpgbookclub or in our Discord, whose link is in the description. And I don't know if we've had any new people, but we've all been talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot. Oh, Bernard's the new person. Bernard's new.
Yay!
Bernard finally joined the Discord.
About time. I mean, welcome.
Instead of being like through me and Maddie, everybody knew who Bernard was, so we were like, "Hey, welcome back!" Even though it's your first time, it's like we finally get to see our friend again.
Bernard had to show up because he's made the horrible life decision of getting into Kingdom Hearts, and he's like, "Okay, I need Sam to explain this to me, so I guess I'll join the Discord."
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you don't want to go into Kingdom Hearts 3 completely blind and you want a decent sum up, I spent a good amount of time on what is actually important to be able to go in and then just ask questions about specifics. And I put that in our Discord, so you could go and do that.
Yep.
But, come and hang out with us next week when we will play our third part in Chapter 4, which will be stopping right before the final boss. Everyone says this is the final battle. It's really obvious because you do a thing, you resolve a big plot point, then final boss is like, this isn't even my true form, and Rose is like, do you want to save your game? And you're like, yeah, let's go back to a save point real quick, and then that's where we're stopping.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah,
Necron shows up for no reason.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like, literal Necron shows up is pretty much how it goes. It's a lot more sense than the Necron fight in Final Fantasy IX, but it's the same basic shit. But you get to save during it, so it's cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, there will be a whole lot. Like, if you liked everybody facing their demons this week, that's basically all we do next week, and it's actually good. So.
Love to face demons.
Yeah, this next dungeon is the Dragellum dungeon, but if the Dragellum dungeon was good. So
hope so.
Yeah, so I love it at least, but we'll see. But for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I am Maddie Webben.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye, love you.
See ya. Man, hot take. Frozen is good, and then every 8-year-old in the world ruined the shit out of it, including Scarlett. Sorry.